So we need breakdown.
This is
number 140. Sam, Keith, me. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving time. Thanksgiving was yesterday. Today's Black Friday.
Yeah.
We were doing this stuff, and now we're here with some nice Rocky Mountain cold Coors Light. The greatest beer you could buy.
I don't know my favorite. Well, I mean, probably my favorite beer is still probably Michael Bob. That's pretty high up there.
Michael Bob Ultimate's pretty good.
Or I don't drink too much beer though. I don't have much of a beer opinion.
Corona?
I don't think I've ever
had Corona.
Oh, you mentioned. Way behind people.
Way behind people.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I'd say it could be deemed offensive.
Yeah.
Would offend someone in this day and age.
Well, then if you're worried about offending somebody, just don't talk anymore.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So he's like, you talking? Are you talking about me when you're saying about offending people? I'm offended.
Yeah. Yeah. Two things. One, we're 5 subscribers away from 2,000. I think it would be pretty cool to hit 2,000.
It would be nice.
So tell everybody. Share. Spread the word. That'd be awesome. And then also a lot of comments recently about
spread the bird.
Spread the turkey bird.
Spread the bird.
Been a lot of
bird
comments.
is the word.
Yeah. There's been a lot of comments about our audio and the microphone we use and stuff, so I just want to say that that's something that will get better here in the new year.
Oh yeah, hopefully not too terribly long. As was
2018,
so
the year of our Lord.
2018, it's the year of the better sound quality, and then 2019 will be, I don't know.
Still the year
but yes, that is something we're looking into. So hold your horses.
We'll get there. It's not. I mean, it's not probably not the best. It's not terrible.
It's not the worst.
We could be using the camera on the device that we actually use to record, so which would probably be worse.
Right. But it'll get there eventually.
Hopefully.
But not today. Today, the only real news thing we're going to talk about is just a little bit more follow-up of the whole EA Star Wars Battlefront II loot box stuff, and hopefully this is like the last time we're ever going to have to talk about this stuff because I'm really sick of talking about it.
Yeah, I am too. It's like, because you're talking in circles. It's just like something new comes out, and it's just the same thing.
Yes.
And that was drawing a circle. There was no talking involved with that. What are you talking about?
I can talk in a circle, man.
Yeah.
Last week we talked about how EA just completely removed the microtransactions in its entirety.
For now.
For now, yes.
Yeah.
And this week it has come out that a lot of different governments and organizations are really taking a look at loot boxes as gambling in video games now, specifically in Star Wars Battlefront II. The Belgium Gaming Commission has declared loot boxes are gambling. They said the mixing of money and addiction is gambling. He said mixing gambling and gaming, especially at a young age, is dangerous for the mental health of a child. Belgium has said that they wish to take this to Europe as a whole, which could be a big problem for game publishers who have been making loot boxes and microtransactions a core part of their games. Redefining the games as gambling throughout all of Europe could, in theory, cost publishers millions of euros in fines, and could have the games be pulled from retail stores. That, along with the state of Hawaiii, is investigating EA for predatory practices. They said this is a Star Wars themed online casino. It's a trap, they said. We'll whatever on that. And then also French. Where's the story here? The French senator sends letter to the Gambling Commission regarding loot boxes. Let's read.
I don't know if you played Battlefront 2 and he was pissed off about it, so he snapped about it. Man, I just spent like $30 fucking
just to fucking get Luke Skywalker. What the fuck, man?
Durain, who is the French senator, sent a letter to Argel, a French organization which regulates online gambling. In his letter, Durain praises the advancement of gaming as a culture, but warns that microtransactions, loot boxes, might prove to be harmful to children. While he does not advocate for direct legislation, he does suggest having consumer protections and industry self-regulation in place, specifically citing Battlefront 2's use of loot boxes to help players become stronger by spending money. He wants to see more transparency and drop rates from loot boxes since he believes they resemble gambling. He has also reached out to several other organizations regarding the topic. So yeah, there you go.
I mean, the whole thing.
And also, just last thing on top of that, EA says Battlefront 2's microtransaction change will not affect their earnings at all.
Bullshit. Their stocks are down like 10%. At last I checked, which is not much. They have been on an upward climb, but still, their stocks. People are pulling out, and some and some investors are telling other people don't buy EA stocks because it's not gonna look good.
Right.
So the whole thing with loot boxes being gambling, I think it's because at least from the definition that I heard from the Belgium Game Commission, which was if success was determined by chance or by skill. So I think definitely in Battlefront's case, that's how good you do at a game could be completely determined by chance. You know what I mean? If you get something good out of a loot box, and you're going to do better than somebody who doesn't. But at the same time, again, pulling this back, 'cause it seems like it's the argument that everybody makes all the time. What you get out of a loot box in Overwatch doesn't fucking matter, at all. I mean, I guess it's still maybe in some ways gambling.
That's the thing. Battlefront 2 just took it too far because it's actually changing gameplay and giving you an advantage. Where Overwatch, it doesn't fucking matter at all.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this is another good thing to happen in a lot of ways. Just because, again, this is people who are learning. Okay, we can't get away with this.
Well, I think
in some ways,
it's a little weird to have the government involved, but at the same time they pushed so far that they were kind of asking for it, and they caused such an uproar that they're just going to start taking a look at it and seeing do we have to, be more transparent with it or regulate it somehow, because it's just getting kind of ridiculous with some of this stuff, and but at the same time it's a potentially a good thing for consumers, because maybe a lot of these publishers now are going to step back and be like, whoa, maybe the way we were designing the next Call of Duty can't do that now.
I mean, I think there's a better way. Because I think with what Battlefront did, this is me playing maybe slight devil's advocate, there was a way that they could have done this and had it make sense. First off, you make credits readily available, and then make it so that you can unlock everything at the start, but then not make it as much of a grind. You know what I mean? And then it's just it's more of player choice. It's up to you if you want to buy the best gun in the game, and then if you happen to be all right, I want to put money in it, but you can get it out of a loot box. You know what I mean? And that works out. Because I think that's the main thing, is that even with this, it's the fact that it's just a grind to in the economy of the game. Same thing happened with For Honor earlier this year. That was the whole big thing. The steel was whatever the currency in For Honor was so scarce that and that game had loot boxes and microtransactions that people felt like they were being they getting the carpet pulled out from under them. So that's another game that I kind of I forgot about until this past week. I was like, oh yeah, this kind of happened with For Honor. I mean, For Honor was a much smaller deal, so it didn't make it to the big news sites like Battlefront did. But so there's been a big year for stuff like that in some ways.
Yeah, you've played Battlefront 2. It's good.
As a game, I liked the previous Battlefront a lot more. The progression system was a lot better, felt more natural. I hate classes in games like that, where you choose assault, or the assault, heavy, officer, specialist. Basically, regular big heavy machine gun, pistol, or sniper rifle. Like, I'd rather just me be able to choose my guns and choose my weapons. The progression system in the previous Battlefront, I think, was really great. Like, eventually we got, like, HUT contracts, but it was, you level up, you unlock things as the leveling goes, and you can buy them with credits that you earn in the game from playing the matches. It's simple, you know?
And it wasn't that expensive to buy stuff? If I remember correctly, like, I didn't feel like it was grinding to get credits to buy.
No. If you did well in a match, you could get, like...
a lot.
Yeah. And depends what kind of matches you would do. Like, the longer matches where it was, like, best of 5 or something, you get a fuck ton of credits by the end of it. I like that progression system, but they had to fuck with it, change things, make the game, to me, ADD. Like, it's, you can't take your time with anything. It's run to the point, get shot, die, start over, run to the point, get shot, die. You know, you're gonna die a lot. They took out, like, the possibility for anyone of, like, getting, like, maybe 50 kills per match, or even 40. I've only seen, like, 30 a couple times, and that's from people that are really good enough that, like, in the match you do certain things, like you get kills, you get points, and then like, you die, you can use those points to, you can choose one of your regular classes, or you can, like, spend points on being, like, a starfighter, or like a battle droid, or, you know, if you have enough points, you can be a Jedi, or a Sith, or something, or hero, or villain. And those people that are pretty good to begin the game then get, like, Darth Maul right off the bat, and then they're, like, if you're not that good at the game, you really don't stand a chance at ever getting to play as one of those heroes or villains. So they fucked that up. I mean, a lot of people bitched about it, but I really liked running around the map and seeing, like, oh, that's a power up there, I get, like, a big grenade, or I get, like, a big bubble shield, or, oh shit, that's actually, like, a hero, I'm gonna run after that, and I get it, and I get to be a hero. I like those, like, pickups in the game that was very fair to people, allowed anyone to become a hero, or, you know, get different extra items. The game itself is, you know, definitely not better off. I really enjoyed the previous Battlefront. This one is not that good. Map design is definitely not as good. There's no Walker Assault. There's, like, a different version of it in ways, but it's nowhere near the same. And one of the biggest mistakes in this game is that if you don't Walker Assault, there was, like, a time limit that you had enough time to take down a walker. So you feel like, okay, we have enough time with this, we get so many tries. In this game, it's, on certain points, you only get a certain number of lives.
Yeah.
Like, people on your team die so much, and it's not like, oh, we're out of lives, now it's just us left, and when all of us die, we're done. No, it's just like the last life is gone, you're done. So it's like, there was a match I was playing where we were almost going to win. Our numbers were getting low. We had, like, maybe 5 lives left. I spawn in as a battle droid. Next to me, we had in just this little squad, me as a battle droid, Kylo Ren, Darth Maul, and another battle droid. I'm like, alright, let's fucking go. Let's do this shit. And we, like, start running, and then it's like, oh, the game stopped. What the fuck? Oh, we lost. Because I guess other people were running up there getting killed, and we don't get a... It's fucked. It's so fucking stupid. They ruined the actual game. Not just, like, oh, microtransactions. They actually ruined... They made this game so much worse. It's not a very good game. And it's at the point where it makes me, like, actually bothered when I hear people like, oh, well, it sounds like a Star Wars game. It looks like... That doesn't count anymore. That counted with the previous one. That doesn't count anymore. It's time to make, like, an actual game. I don't give a fuck about the sound or the look of it. It looks awesome. I'll give you that. But, you know, some of it's porn. You know, I could just watch porn. You know what I mean? But it's not like... I don't know where I was going with that. You know, it's... I don't want to just look at it, you know? I want to actually play the game and have fun with it. And that's totally fucked. when they got rid of microtransactions, the people that pre-ordered the game and got like early access, got to play it three days ahead of time, they still get to keep all their shit, all the money that they spend in the game to get all this shit, they still get to keep that. So you're going in already at disadvantage. You know, you see people with like this amazing shit, you're like, oh, they got the game 3 days early, so they pre-ordered. Which is already like, you know, it's just a shitty practice.
Yeah.
You know, at every angle. And when it comes down to like governments getting involved, what really makes me uncomfortable and concerned with that is I don't think EA for a second is going to be like, oh, we did something wrong. It's going to make them more sneaky. It's just going to challenge them to rip off people in different ways and find their way around it. Like maybe the next game that comes out, that's not a sports game because they're all the same, but the next EA game that comes out, they're going, maybe Anthem. Maybe they'll be like, okay, we'll make this game like kind of decent, like with that stuff. We'll make it okay. And then people are going to be like, all right, they'll lay off for a bit, and then they're just going to go right back into it and get sneaky again. It's kind of like Ubisoft with For Honor. Like people got really pissed about that. So Assassin's Creed, they like really dialed it back and they tried to make it like smarter and not really put it in your face at all. Like these companies, they're not going to like stop this kind of shit. So on one hand, you do kind of need government involvement, but that makes me really uncomfortable because, like I said, when I was texting guys, remember that was like earlier this week, politicians are like, these are the same people that like not even a decade ago were saying totally misinformed bullshit, like video games cause school shootings and they make people violent and all this shit. And the thing is, I don't know if they actually believe that, but they're willing to say that, and that's the stance they're willing to take. Yeah. Like, I don't trust politicians. I don't want to make this super political, but like I just don't want the government stepping in because, like, you see the way the government's run now, like, people that are put in charge of education don't believe in public schooling. People that are put in charge of the environment don't believe in, like, climate change. Like, I don't want government interference at all in anything like this because you're going to put someone that doesn't get video games in charge of like regulating video games. I just don't want anything like that. The possibility of that, I don't want that to happen. I would honestly rather just leave this up to the video game community to give EA enough shit like we already have. I think where people seem like the Reddit post that's like the most downvoted Reddit post in history, things like that, and we're just as a community, we're not letting up on things like this. Like, I know I bought the game, but I actually went on Reddit and, like, downvoted their shit just to feel like I'm part of it, I guess. But, you know, I feel like as a community, we can do that kind of thing. Like, when bullshit happens, people come together and call No Man's Sky out on their shit. They call Mass Effect and Andromeda out on their shit. And they call this game out on their shit. I just don't want any kind of government interference because that just makes me totally uncomfortable for people that don't fully understand something to attempt to regulate it in any way. You know, I don't want that to happen. I'm one of those people that is like thinks that Blade Runner is going to happen. Like the government's going to take over and, you know, they're going to be I'm one of those like paranoid people that thinks like shit's going to go down, like they're going to take control, man. But, you know, I don't want that shit, you know?
Yeah. I'm just glad that, you know,
it's like
players that play games have said with this game specifically, like, enough is enough.
Enough is enough with this shit. And at least with the whole, like, government intervention, at least it's like...
Like, I feel like Europe could maybe get it right, but the United States...
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna care over here. I don't know. I don't see it being, like, a big thing.
Well, if there's enough money in it and everything.
Yeah, and...
Which there's a lot of money in video games now, so suddenly people just happen to care,
yeah.
You know?
The one thing, too, which was... There was a Wall Street exec or something who was talking about this, and he completely misread and didn't explain the situation right, but he, like, the gist of what he said was that gamers should be thankful for microtransactions, and he kind of came off as, again, as you were saying, not understanding it. He's just in it for the money because, like, you know, the pricing of gaming, which that is a valid point to make with this whole thing with people getting up in arms about microtransactions, because something's going to have to give in gaming development sometime soon. One of three things is going to have to happen. either A, teams are going to get smaller, which means games are going to get buggier and they're going to be less polished. The price of games is going to go up. And even though I personally, I mean, maybe you guys too, I personally wouldn't mind like paying $80 for a game if a game is good, but I can guarantee you that there will be just as big of an uproar about it from just about a majority of the gaming community of game pricing went up. So even though EA went about it the wrong way, like I get, being like, hey, we should put this because we need to help make more money. But at the same time, you have to do it in a way that's smart. You know what I mean? You still don't want to undermine the people, because that's also the thing you have to worry about with microtransactions. Not everybody's willing to sink money in. You know what I mean? For probably the first good while that I had Overwatch, I was just like, I'm not buying any of this stuff. But then it's like, and then I started caring, I started playing it a lot more. It's like, well, I'd like to have some of these skins. So you know what I mean? Like, there's probably still people who play Overwatch who've never bought, paid for a loot box. And it's like, you could just kind of have to deal with that like, not everybody's going to do this.
Well,
and it's like, it's a hard thing. Like, something's going to have to give. Either the price, or maybe it's a little bit of both. Maybe the price goes up a little bit, but then maybe microtransactions scale back a little bit, Some games do it right. Overwatch does it right. Maybe with the exception of how they handled shaders and whatnot in Destiny 2, but Destiny basically does it right, it's all optional, and you get some of the stuff in-game, but you can buy more if you want. It's just, something's probably gonna have to give sometime soon.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of at this, breaking point with some of the stuff, potentially, but the thing is with loot boxes that I just don't get.
I don't mean loot boxes. I just mean again, microtransactions. Like loot boxes, and especially again like how Battlefront does it, where it's tied to progression. That is complete bullshit, and that's not something that should happen. Right. But I get everything else.
Yeah. Well, the thing with loot boxes, though, to me, is that they're not really that satisfying.
No.
At all. I'm serious. 9 times out of 10, I open up a loot box in Overwatch and was like, because you don't get anything exciting most of the time.
Well, that's because most of the stuff is they pad it out with a lot of this use of the shit.
Exactly.
You keep buying it.
Exactly.
And sure, that's a little dirty. Sure, maybe if there was a way to actually get gold or whatever in that game, if there was hey, you get this amount of gold every time you level up, or or something like that, or every loot box you get in case you buy them, you get this amount of gold. That way, there's a little bit more. Or even I've said this before too, a buyback system. Here's a bunch of fucking voice lines and shit that I'm never going to use. Just trade it in. I don't have to get 100% of it back, but just trade it in, and maybe you get 100 points. So it's something.
But in Call of Duty, it's not satisfying. In Forza 7, it's not satisfying. It's not satisfying in Halo 5, Gears 4. None of these games. It's never truly satisfying, and I never truly get excited, even if I get something that great. You know what I mean?
It's oh, cool. That's cool.
Just let me get what the fuck I want, sort of thing. Then I'll feel a lot better about it. But another thing that, maybe it will, maybe it won't. The gaming industry is way more secretive than movies in Hollywood. We know what movies, a lot of these big movie companies are going to be making 3-4 years from now. Or at least they have Untitled, May 25th, 2021. You know what I mean? You know something's happening there. We also know a lot of times budgets, production budgets, and all that stuff. We know exactly how much a movie makes every fucking weekend. You know what I mean? The gaming industry is we never know. They only truly say how much a game is sold when it does well, or when it makes X amount of money. But how about, you constantly go on and on about how games are getting more and more expensive to make. How about you tell us how much it actually costs?
How much a game actually makes, and how much...
Because maybe then we would go, oh wow, that does cost a lot, and I still want experiences like this. So maybe I'll be a little bit more okay with people buying into microtransactions, because I don't want this sort of type of game to go away.
It's if
you told me how much it actually costs, because you're just going to keep saying that. I'm not saying it's pretty obvious that they're more expensive to make because there's more detail and blah blah blah. I get that. I'm not saying they're not, but how about you fucking tell us?
Yeah.
Most of the time we only know production budgets. That's all I would care about. And also how about you tell us how much you made? Sorry, even if your game's a failure, movies that are a failure,
then you still
know how much they make. They don't call up all the IMDb people and be like, don't publish.
Yeah,
it's what we made because our movie's a fucking failure.
But I also wonder if that's is that like just an industry norm in the case of movies, or is it like, or is it like regulation?
Yeah,
like is it like a movie you are required to say how much money you use to make this movie and how much money you make. Like maybe that would be something that maybe again just something's like, hey, make it like, hey, like a gaming regulation where it's like, hey, you have to disclose this kind of
I mean,
just about any other industry too, they disclose that kind of information. It's just gaming. Like you find out like so
it's just weird, but I think a little bit more transparency on that side could maybe help.
People would be more like, okay, maybe like I wouldn't feel like, wow, these people are trying to suck all the money out of me. It's like, oh well, do my thing. I like this game. I'll throw in. I'll be super supportive. I mean, that's also part of the reason again why I usually, like, every time there's an event, I probably sink like $20-$30 on like loot boxes and like Overwatch because I'm like, I like Overwatch. I want to support this game. So boom, I will throw my money at you.
Right. Like, how much is a big budget game cost? Like, I would love to know that. Is it 50, 60, 70, 80 million, or are we looking at a big movie budget of 200, 250, 300 million dollars to make? I know at the time, I'm pretty sure GTA 5 was the most expensive game to make, and that cost $265 million to make production. I mean, they got it back in like 5 seconds, but like, where are we at with that stuff? I think it would just be a curious thing, but it's unfortunate. I think also the hate around this game is probably a lot stronger because it's EA. Because EA is inherently not that great company. They very much, I think, especially over the past few years, like, they don't give a flying fuck about making quality products and having any integrity in this industry. They just want to make money. It's money. Just
look at their lineup every single year.
I know. Like, when is the last time EA has had a Game of the Year contender? I mean, they had, and take away BioWare, because I know Dragon Age Inquisition and the Mass Effect games have won some Game of the Years. Take away BioWare. Like, mostly they have sports games, but like,
wasn't
I don't know. They just don't really have games up there.
No, okay, there wasn't Game of the Year. I think it did win some awards. I was gonna say Titanfall, but I don't think Titanfall was. I mean, I know Titanfall was popular. But also that was somebody partnering with EA. It wasn't actually them.
The only other one that I can really think of is Dead Space, the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that won a Game of the Year awards, but that got really great critical acclaim. People hold that game in very high regard in the horror genre.
I don't know. Making Dead Space anymore.
Nope, guess not.
I saw a comment or a post on Reddit that someone said in the first Battlefront II, if I really wanted something in the game, I could use cheat codes to unlock it. Now I have to get out my credit card.
Yeah. I've heard that before too. Yeah. And another thing, I heard it was a rumor, and I mean, it never really became more than that, so I don't know if it's really true or not, but I was reading some stuff and saying that originally the microtransaction system was going to be more like Overwatch, but Star Wars, because like more of just skins, because Star Wars is like fucking perfect for that stuff.
That's done. That's all you have to do, and you wouldn't have this fucking issue.
There's how many versions of like Luke you could have, and Darth Vader, and Rebel Troopers, and Stormtroopers, and all kinds of stuff.
You could do, again, emotes, fucking. You could put fucking like camo.
Change the color of your fucking lightsaber. Like, who gives a shit?
Oh God, like that. I'd think I would be like, if that happened, to be like, oh yeah, cool. I would sink so much money into this game.
There'd be no problem.
To me, ruins DICE's reputation in the process. Because the last Battlefront was like, okay, it came out that like the game was kind of pushed out because the movie was coming out. I can kind of understand that. But this one, it's like you had a couple years, and this is the game you end up with.
Yeah.
Also, I had this other idea.
I mean, you already had Frostbite, all the animations, sounds, everything already from the first Battlefront, or the previous Battlefront. It couldn't take... It's not like I can't see Battlefront 2 costing more money than the previous Battlefront. Because a lot of that stuff I feel like was already there.
I see what you're saying, but I could maybe argue that it might because they had 4 studios working on this game.
It sounds very much more manpower, so more money you got to give.
For what though?
Well, they had Criterion did all the space battles that you see in the campaign and multiplayer. DICE did the multiplayer, and EA Motive did the campaign. And I want to say there was another studio working on it too, but still, that's a lot of fucking manpower. It's like they just threw shit at it to just try to get it to work.
Also, just the way that both the first Battlefront and this game had kind of worked, I wonder if maybe... Because, the first Battlefront was notorious for there not being that much game and then trying to sell you a $50 Seasons Pass.
Right.
And then this one is notorious for selling you a $60 game and then wanting you to sink possibly hundreds of dollars after that. I wonder if it's like... Because then, again, one of those things that they haven't come out about how the deal works. I wonder, what if it's like a part of the thing with... It probably costs a bit of money to license Star Wars and Disney stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of the issue, is like, they're like, shit, this costs a good bit. That's why it's like, cool, let's try to make sure we get like...
But it's already going to sell.
Yeah, and that's like the thing.
And they already have Madden and, FIFA. I was going to say NBA, but NBA, we don't talk about that one.
So yeah...
And Ultimate Teams, and they're already making mad money off that.
But they want to.
They made a lot of money off the previous Battlefront.
But they want to make the money off of this. Again, I don't know how the deal works. So like, who knows? Like, I would imagine that if like somebody, like if to reverse it around, like that if Square Enix wanted to put a Star Wars world in Kingdom Hearts, I imagine that's not fucking cheap. I also imagine that's not fucking cheap because everything in that game is Disney. So it's probably, but like. You know what I mean? Like, that could be a possibility.
That's also not cheap because they have to make 15 cutscenes per world. Per hour game.
Walk 5 feet cutscene.
I would love to know in Kingdom Hearts 2 the amount of the ratio of like cutscene to hours. You know what I mean? Like, is it a cutscene per 5 minutes?
Maybe that's a hard distinction to make because you could just run around, but that would be funny. But yeah, that's one thing to think about, which doesn't excuse, but it's like maybe that's part of the thing.
This makes like the former visceral Star Wars game look even worse because it was going to be like a single player game, and now like we got to make money on it. Yeah. It just it makes it.
I hope even though EA bought Respawn, I hope EA, even though I know it's not going to happen. If anything, it's probably definitely going to happen now. Doesn't try to just get their grubby little hands and be like, hey, you need to put some shit in this game.
Right. I just have a few more things on this topic, but one, I agree with you about the whole DICE thing, and to me, it's just gotta suck because there is some like genuinely really great people that work at these companies.
They put together the fucking Frostbite engine. That thing looks amazing.
And they probably go to work every day and they bust their ass to do the best they can and to make this game the best they can, and everybody fucking hates it because of corporate greed. And I just feel really bad for those people.
Well, not just corporate greed. The actual game is not really that great.
This whole thing. I've always
there's a lot of bugs in it and stuff too.
I've operated under the assumption that a lot of this shit were a lot of these things with the big publishers getting greedy with like loot boxes. I've always worked under the assumption that it's the publishers. You know what I mean? The developers, hopefully, if they're really, passionate about it, they just want to make a good game. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like, I would hope that maybe again, kind of like you said, DICE is kind of like we just want to try to make the best game we can.
Yeah, it's never gonna let them do that.
No, they're not. They're just gonna be like, hey, like you need to
like DICE are like the slaves and EA is the like pharaoh that's making them build a pyramid.
Yeah.
But can we build a square? No, build a fucking pyramid.
You look at DICE, and like in my opinion, like I didn't play the multiplayer, but I fucking hated the campaign of Battlefield 3. Then you look at Battlefield 4. I thought that campaign was awful, but the multiplayer was great. But that game had an awful fucking launch. Awful launch.
One of the worst launches of a game.
They've really,
probably up until now.
Yeah, they've really turned around and they've added so much content to that game that it's actually a really fucking amazing game. But then you have Star Wars Battlefront. Fun game, not enough there. Charge way too much for extra shit. So you're still just kind of continuing downhill.
Don't forget Battlefield Hardline.
Well, that was Visceral.
That was Visceral.
That was Visceral.
Make that.
Which then again, Visceral, you could make the argument that Visceral had also been on a downward spiral towards the end there. I mean, Dead Space 3 wasn't anything like the first two games, and they did that.
Yeah. But then you have Battlefield 1, which I think is a cool game. It's definitely the best campaign they've done, but it's definitely not as good as Battlefield 4.
I think the campaign in Battlefront 2 is better than that campaign.
Battlefront 2?
Yeah. The shitty Battlefront 2. I think the campaign is better.
But then you have Battlefront 2, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just been on this somewhat, it's down, but kind of rocky. Like, they're not awful games, for sure. But they're definitely... definitely not where they should be. And I think that's just the turnaround that they constantly have to be on.
It's definitely kind of got to the point where it's like, if I were to ever get Battlefront 2, which it seems like as more time goes on, the less likely that is, I would get it so I could play the campaign and then maybe spend probably about as much time as and it just happened to be just how long we were playing things and when I got the game. I really only played Battlefront 1 for like maybe a month and a half. And that would probably be all about the time I put into Battlefront 2, maybe. Would be like, play it, and be like, okay, I'm fucking done with this.
If you can make that far.
If I probably...
Everyone's going to be so fucking far ahead of you. Yeah. You're going to be getting one-shotted. You're going to be running into shit. Dying.
That's what I mean. So, like, the longer it goes on. So, like I said, maybe, and I would definitely buy it used at that point. Maybe Christmas.
Yeah.
Would be the earliest I consider getting it. Like if everyone was like, what do you... Or even then, it'd be like if somebody was like, what do you want for Christmas? Like, you can give me Battlefront, just don't buy it new. Don't do that. Get it used.
Honestly, there's so many better games out to play right now.
Yeah.
That I'm just like...
I don't need it right now.
Just can't right now. And also, I mean, last thing I want to say about this is, I'm sure that this wasn't the intention to have this uproar and being investigated and stuff, but, man, I'm sure Disney is not happy to have Star Wars associated...
Especially 3 weeks away from 3 weeks today from The Last Jedi. That's not good. That's not good.
Because that's
the word I'm looking
marketing.
For. Marketing, publicity.
It's just not good publicity and an image and everything.
Because Disney doesn't have shit like this happen.
No.
Absolutely not. This is like...
Have you heard the shit about Coco? It's another fucking amazing movie that Disney and Pixar are putting out together, and it's like everything's just like boom. It's just like Disney doesn't half-ass anything. No. Like you can say whatever you want about Disney. Most of the stuff they put out is great.
Episode 7.
Yeah, and they have such a clean image. Like they never have bad things like this happen to them, and I'm sure they're absolutely frustrated.
My chef is he used to work for what's the one in Florida? Is that Disney World or Disney?
Disney World.
Disney World, where it's like its own fucking city.
Yeah, basically.
And he worked there, and like to work there, you can't have tattoos. You need to look a certain way. You need to act a certain way. You need to have the fucking spotless background. You need to shave your pubes. I mean, basically down to everything. Just to work there.
Just to work there. I couldn't work there a month ago when I still had long hair. Like you have to have you have to go up here. One of the weirdest rules I heard is just be in the off chance that you might offend somebody, you can't point with one finger. You have to point with either your whole hand or 2 fingers, because that's offensive in some cultures. So you have to either point with 2 fingers or point with your whole hand.
So they train you to do that?
Oh yeah, they tell you point like this. They do stuff like there's a lot of other weird rules. Like you can't ever say I don't know or say no to somebody's question. Like if somebody's like, where is this? You can't be like, oh, I don't know, and then just go back to your day. You can be like, well, okay, well, you can go over here and you can go ask this. You know what I mean? You can't not help somebody. And it's like, but then that's like great. It's like you can't have an off day. You can't just be like, no, I ain't fucking dealing with this. It's like nope.
It's the happiest place on earth.
Well, I mean, everybody fucks all the time, so I heard. So
everybody fucks all the time.
Yeah, they fuck. All the people
that work at Disney.
Yeah, they fuck all the time.
In the underground subway station, maybe.
Yeah.
Because they had a whole fucking underground thing.
Magic Kingdom is built 20 feet off the ground.
Yeah.
Because it's built on swamp, and it's like we can't build it on swamp. So.
Shrek swamp. Yeah, swamp.
Shrek the swamp.
But I mean, just to be a fucking greeter there.
Yeah.
I mean, shave pubes. to the grain. I mean, like nothing there. It's smooth, and you know.
Make sure you're wiping your ass nice and clean.
Yeah, wet wipes.
Yeah,
wet wipes. Not a dingleberry in sight. Just to work there, just to be a greeter. So with the last Battlefront and the whole Seasons Pass thing, they had to have been paying attention to that. And then with this one and all this shit, like, that's you know.
It get also with like
they're gonna be in EA's ass.
With it also coming out how
fuck with Disney.
With it coming out of how the dude from EA stepped in and like wrote a letter to EA. I wonder how much of like some like
the dude from EA.
The dude from Disney. Dude from Disney. Sorry.
The guy from EA.
The dude from Disney stepped in. I wonder if like how much again of like them not having Seasons Pass was like Disney being like, yeah, look, that didn't you can't do that this time. Like you gotta. Look, your game. People complain a lot, so you got to do this, you got to do that, and then you got to do that, and then EA was like, or Dice or whatever was like, cool, and they did the checkbox, and that's all they did. Cool story, and it's only like 6-7 hours long.
Yeah.
No Seasons Pass, yeah, we'll drown you in microtransactions. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
So.
Sucks.
I thought it was funny when CD Projekt Red came out.
Yeah, actually, I had that.
But they were just like, yeah, leave greed to others. Yeah, we don't have any of the bullshit.
So. There was some report founded on like nothing.
Yeah, which is total bullshit.
Is fucking ridiculous.
They're pretty good gaming or something. They're like a YouTube channel. They've gone to like complete shit.
Yeah. See, they put out a report that said CD Projekt are considering games as a service for Cyberpunk 2077 as part to make it more commercially significant. Then CD Projekt Red tweeted back at him and said, "Worry not. When thinking Cyberpunk 2077, think nothing less than The Witcher 3.
2077.
Yeah, 2077. Huge single-player open world, story-driven RPG. No hidden catch. You get what you pay for. No bullshit. Just honest gaming like with the Wild Hunt. We leave greed to others."
Fucking hell.
Occasionally you get those moments like Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards. You know, fucking calling out Konami.
Konami, yeah.
And then
exactly.
CD Projekt Red. And then you do have those developers like Ninja Theory that make games like Hellblade, and they're just like, yeah, this is a game on a budget. Like, they're just straight up with it. I mean, CD Projekt Red is cool. Like, I'm definitely buying. I was going to buy Cyberpunk 2077 to begin with. I'm going to pre-order it now, probably. Just because they're cool, you know?
Just throw your support at
I'm going to throw my money. My support, aka money, at them. And I don't know, you don't get that too much. Like Bethesda is kind of they're spreading their ass cheeks with Skyrim. Yeah. They're spreading Skyrim's ass cheeks and just letting everyone inside. Yes. Yeah. And the Evil Within 2 is there, you know, but like Wolfenstein's still pretty cool, but like Fallout 4 was like I don't know. And then Pete Hines is just a fucking jackass. Just my opinion.
Works. It just works.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Todd Howard's cool, and like the Elder Scrolls team and the Fallout team, they seem like really cool groups of people, but it's just like as a company, like your image is kind of going in the shit.
Yeah, it's like Bethesda used to be like. Just think how much difference 2 years had. Like 2015, Bethesda could do no wrong, especially when like they come out and like they come at it. Well, I mean like E3 time, 2015. They come out, hey, you want a new Doom game? We got you a new Doom game. We got Fallout 4. We got a sequel to Dishonored. We got more stuff in the Elder Scrolls Online, making that game more worthwhile to play because apparently a lot of people dropped off.
It's still not really worthwhile. I guess.
More. And
that's a piece of shit.
Okay. Elder Scrolls Legends, here, we're going to
which is actually pretty cool.
We're going to do this cool thing, and it's like, and then 2016 was still pretty cool, and then last year, my big thing after, I was like, what the fuck?
It was like 12 minutes.
Here's 2 new games, an expansion to a game that already came out, and then we're going to put a couple games on VR, and it's like, God.
CD Projekt, though, I mean, with The Witcher 3, they did everything right.
Oh, yeah.
You buy the game, you have a thank you letter from them, you play this fucking amazing game that is totally bang for your buck. Then they had an expansion pass, but it wasn't overly priced, and they delivered quality fucking
like
content.
basically a whole new fucking game with blood and wine.
Yeah, and it's like there's no microtransactions in this, and I think it's also telling with that like there's all this conversation about single player games dying, and they're just like, no,
Yeah,
Fuck
nah,
because you still
fuck
like
that.
Bethesda still kind of keeps that alive. They're like with like Wolfenstein being a really good game, and there are a couple, but I don't know. Ubisoft is definitely on that train.
Naughty Dog, Sony is on
They're
that
kinda
single player
getting
train,
there.
in my opinion.
Like The Last of Us multiplayer was actually really good.
It was.
I really enjoyed it.
But
the
it's
whole
not
thing with like
focus.
buying guns was kind of shitty.
It's not the focus.
It's not the
game,
focus.
though, but yeah, I agree. It was fucking.
But you got like God of War.
Yep.
Days
Spider-Man.
Days Gone is a game.
it is.
That's right.
It is in fact a game. Detroit.
Cockstar.
Horizon.
You can just sit here and just name.
Nintendo's on that train too.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo's mostly.
They've made great single player games.
Nintendo's really making a comeback.
Oh yeah, like
Hell yeah.
Like they
This
still
is
have
gonna
to,
be
they still have to
incredible.
kind of repair their reputation a little bit, but like they're making a good comeback.
What
They're
they have,
making a good
the only
effort.
thing they really need to do, in my opinion, with the Switch is just keep it going.
Yep.
Like, if they
I
keep
like
it going,
there's games coming out and it's
they're
like
home.
I'm constantly sitting there like, oh, do I want this? Like like I said this before, like I'm sorely tempted to get Skyrim for the Switch just because it's like, oh, I mean, yeah, no mods, but it's like, oh, wow,
It's apparently a good version of it.
that's what I mean. It's like, this could be fucking cool. And then I look at Mario Kart and I'm like, oh man, we can play that with you guys, and it's like Mario plus Rabbids was good, and then Doom just came out. I'm like, oh, I want Doom.
And I'm looking at like Golf Story. People talk about that a lot. That seems cool. Rayman Legends is on there. I would love to actually play that game. Like there's some.
I still think PlayStation's in the lead, but Nintendo's definitely in like strong in second place. Xbox really needs to like get their shit together.
So everything with Xbox either has been getting delayed or canceled.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Phil Spencer came out not too long ago, just a few weeks ago, and said like, yeah, we need to invest in studios and buy them or create them. Period. Like,
It would be cool if they bought like some shit away from EA. If they bought BioWare or something.
that would be great.
Yeah.
It would be great if they bought them.
Or when inevitably EA dips their hands in Anthem and it ends up not working out, and EA's like, well, all right, fuck that, we're gonna get rid of BioWare, and then they could just be like, well, just hire everybody from BioWare and make a new studio. Or all of you have a job over here.
Yeah.
But then no more Mass Effect, no more Dragon Age.
I think
That's
maybe-
gonna be a sad fucking day.
Or
Dragon
they
Age.
go, hey, Amy, hey, we'll make a studio with us.
Oh, that'd be get something of like the quality of like Uncharted and whatnot on fucking Xbox. 'Cause that's the other thing too with like Xbox, even like Halo and Gears are great games, great game series. Maybe especially the later installments of like Uncharted and The Last of Us. There's nothing really like that of that kind of quality. Like
What?
there's nothing of like the Uncharted 3, Uncharted 4, or like The Last of Us quality.
There's nothing
on
like Naughty Dog quality.
There's nothing of Naughty Dog quality on Xbox.
Tomb
And that's the
Raider.
thing.
You got the Rise of the Tomb Raider a year ahead of time.
And just, I always love to think about it. Like, Bungie was Microsoft's Naughty Dog. But they wanted Bungie to just constantly make Halo for the rest of their existence. And they didn't want to do that, so they let Bungie go.
Now
Microsoft
we
could have had Destiny as an exclusive.
Oh fuck!
If they would have just said, yeah,
That
just
might
go
and also
ahead,
like
make
early on,
something new.
and also early on that might have changed my whole thing with how
Like,
I
they-
went about consoles.
Yeah, they valued Halo more than they valued the creativity of Bungie. And now, I don't think Destiny is as good as Halo. At least those original Halo games. I still like those games more. But still, Destiny's fucking huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just something I always like to think about. You know? And I was thinking about like Halo the other day. I'm like, man, they've been unusually quiet about the next Halo game. And it's been 2 years now. So, you know, they've been on a 3-year cycle, but like,
I wonder if
usually they'd be talking about it by now. And
I
I'm
assume
wondering if
it
they're-
will be announced next year.
Yeah,
I would hope.
I would at least announced. I don't know if it'll be.
And it probably wouldn't come out till 2019.
Yeah, but I'm wondering if they're really like going back to the drawing board on it.
So
Because
Halo
4 had a cool campaign, but the multiplayer,
fun.
while we played a lot, it was fun. It wasn't Halo.
It wasn't Halo, and then whereas
Five
the opposite
has-
happened.
Yeah, 5, like, the story sucked. It's the worst in the franchise. And the multiplayer is the best in the franchise. All you gotta do is slap them together somehow. You have a great game.
Slap. I mean, you know, don't slap dicks. Slap. Don't do the marketing. You know, fix the marketing, and then, you know, just do Chief. You don't have to introduce a new character.
Yeah. Could you think about like the shit that they could do with Destiny if they had it like they could put like a Master Chief style like exotic helmet or something, or like armor or shaders or whatever. Just like what Nintendo's done with Skyrim, putting in like Zelda shit.
Yeah.
You know, like Gears of War armor or something like that. You could do different themes.
You get a Lancer,
like that, yeah.
and that could be like just like a random drop, or like or an enemy uses a Lancer or something like that.
We'll see. I'm getting more and more excited for Sea of Thieves. Like, I really hope that hits well next year. What I say, early 2018. So
I'm also
State of Decay 2. That's co-op. That could be fun as shit. You know?
Well, this isn't. Well, no, okay, no, that's. Never mind. I was gonna say because after we went out earlier, I forgot because I forget that it happens, but I really like to play it. Fucking Monster Hunter.
Yeah, that
looks cool.
Yeah, it does.
And that's
January
26th.
26th, but there's a beta that starts December 9th.
Ooh, I'll have to check that out.
So yeah,
like, and then that's like all there is. I mean, Crackdown got delayed till next year, sometime, which hopefully, you know. Well, I hope that game does good.
I hope so too.
I feel like it's not.
I feel like it's not, but I mean, it's another co-op game that I'm like, that could just be fun to go around.
That could just be a stupid
with
thing,
friends
yeah.
and be stupid.
Blow buildings up and.
I don't know. I guess just personally for me, I wouldn't really be interested in that because it's like you get to do that and run around. Like I'm having a lot of like open world fatigue. I think is the thing. Like if you just run around, you do nothing. Like especially Assassin's Creed Origins, it's just killing me. I'm taking like a break from that game. I'm taking. Like, no joke, I'm waiting to, like, my Christmas break to start playing that game again.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
I was playing it the other night, and I'm like, I'm having fun, you know. I like the world. I do like the combat. To me, it's the mission design is fucking atrocious. And it's literally the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. Like, it's a lot of that in a lot of open world games. It's been a lot of that in a lot of Assassin's Creed games, but it is extreme in this game of like, go find this person, bring it back. Go find this, get it back. Go find this, get it back. And even the main campaign missions are the same thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? I stopped playing that game. And I was like ready to keep playing, but I stopped. Literally, I have 12 side quests. And I'm like,
did you just get to the part
I just cannot do this right now.
The Scarab, I think?
I'm at the part where it's split open to 4 different paths.
Okay, yeah, and you get to that first town looking for the Scarab, and you get, yeah.
And I'm just like,
bitch.
I'm just like, fucking hell. And to me, when it splits open into 4 different things, like, why is it gated by level? Like, you're obviously going in a path. Just let everybody go in whatever direction they want. If it's all going exactly, if it's all going to go in the same fucking.
Yeah.
That's why Skyrim.
I don't understand why that's still like an issue in some games. Like Skyrim cracked that egg like 6 years ago.
Breath of the Wild. It's like
Breath of the Wild. You can literally you can go fight. Yeah. You can just be like.
Well, Skyrim came out like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But that was one of my issues, kind of with The Witcher. Sometimes it's like I get a quest and it's like. I have to like wait. I have to play the game for like 20 more hours before I can finally do this.
You get a quest in the game. It's like level 35. And it's
like,
I'm level 10.
Yeah.
It's like what?
Yeah. Like, how does this make sense? Like, you know, I'm kind of getting more. Even I used to be okay with it. I mean, one of my favorite games is Kingdom Hearts 1. Of course, I have to be okay with it. I'm getting less. I'm not dealing with grinding as much anymore.
And I feel like shit. That's why...
Just fucking talking about Assassin's Creed right now.
I feel like that's why me playing Kingdom Hearts 2 on Thanksgiving just felt so fun and relieving because it's not this open world thing. It's just this like... Also, like, it's a very linear, just fucking...
And you don't have to like necessarily like just go and like, oh man, I gotta go and I gotta go kill a bunch of things. It's just like you can literally just play through Kingdom Hearts 2 and never go back to a world unless you have to, and it's just like, and you'll do fine.
It's fun.
And it's like, you don't, it's not like Kingdom Hearts 1 where there's sometimes like, fuck, I have to go, let me go run around a little bit and level up once or twice before I go take this guy on. Like, yeah, I'm just not dealing with that shit anymore.
And it's also just like of why I think Mario was just super appealing and fun to me. It's just, that game was just so joyous and it got away from all the bullshit about video games. Literally all of it. All the open world shit, all the microtransaction, loot box shit, all of it's just gone. You know? And it's just pure gaming fun, you know?
It's like, here's the world, go. And then
Exactly.
it's like, you know what? And it's more like, not that I have to do things, it's that I want to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing, like, one of the things that I just did, because I beat the game Tuesday. I beat it like Tuesday sometime. And then, or Monday. And I went to the Cascade Kingdom. And there's like, you can race Koopas. Have you done any of that? You can do Koopa races where you just gotta race Koopas.
Yeah.
And usually the first one's super easy, you just gotta get from this point. But then the second one is like, they'll put in like a gold Koopa, and he like knows all the special moves and takes the paths and whatnot. And it's like, it's not that I don't have to get that move. Because you get 2 moves, but I fucking want it. And so I'm doing this race over, and I still haven't beaten it, but I'm like doing it over and over again, watching him, seeing how he does all this tricks so I can trick my way up to the top, and it's just like, fuck.
Or like us playing Cuphead earlier today, that was a fucking blast because it's just like that game is very simple. It's just hard. Here's the boss. You just gotta beat him. And it's just like, oh, we did a little bit better that time. Or like, oh fuck, we did really good that first section and it fell apart. We can do this. And we just kept doing it over and over and over and over and over again. We got a lot of them.
We had like 3.
Yeah.
We had like 3 of them.
It's just that addicting loop. And it's refreshing, you know? It's fun.
But microtransactions, you can just go in and I'm just joking.
But I have way more fun when I open up that loot box and I get a lot of cool stuff out of it.
I get jealous whenever I see you open your loot box in Call of Duty.
I swear to God, all of the emotes in Call of Duty are the same.
Oh, yeah,
there are emotes in Call of Duty now?
Yeah, they're all the same.
Well, it's only in the social space, which you never see anybody
There's
in.
a social space.
Right, yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's either only you
You and your party.
I'm glad I don't play Call of Duty anymore.
It's like that's a stupid thing. The campaign's okay.
Yeah, the multiplayer
is fun, and zombies is like the best it's been in years. So I think it's worth it. I enjoy myself playing.
If you like Call of Duty, if you don't like Call of Duty multiplayer, it's not worth it at all.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? Like, I wonder what does EA think about you? Like me, when I bought Battlefront 2, even if there were microtransactions still in the game,
I think
when I wasn't going to buy anyone, they look at me buying Madden and never playing the Ultimate Team shit, and look at this worthless fucking person that bought this $60 game and isn't going to pay us more money.
They truly probably think of all of their consumers as cattle.
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean? Oh, yeah, definitely. That's
more so than any other company.
That's capitalism right there.
Yeah, and look, they have the right to do that in America.
And it's like the thing too.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, like it's not. And the other thing is, it's not our job really to worry about how games cost. Like it's not. We have no obligation to care about that. You know what I mean? That like games cost too much. But at the same time, it's like bring it all back full circle.
I still have some games that I want to play by the end of this year. Like I watched a couple full playthroughs of some games, and a couple of them I want to play for myself. Like definitely I want to go back and play Little Nightmares before the end of the year.
That game was fun. Fun in a weird way.
But like my end of the year list right now, like I know you two and Luke. So you played Legend of Zelda, right?
Yeah.
Right, because I know that's going to be probably number 1. And Odyssey's going to be up there.
I might even put Odyssey in number 1.
Oh really?
I really like Odyssey.
Just to go against the grain.
No, I genuinely like Odyssey.
But like I know you guys are probably going to have that Nintendo stuff, but like outside of that, I think 7 of my 10 games are just linear, I guess. They're non-open world games.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the year, Assassin's Creed is probably going to be pretty low, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I know Ghost Recon Wildlands, for me at least, for those of us that the game works, it's probably going to be pretty up there.
Fucking Ubisoft.
Yeah, but I really love that game. That's going to be up there for me.
Overwatch should be your game of the year. And at the same
time, it's still going strong.
And also
it's kind of dying off a little bit, but it's still going pretty strong.
Rainbow Six is another game that's still fucking still. I want to play it just because I watched a bunch of series of these people trying to get good, and I'm like, I won't play that game. And then, I mean, there's only a couple games that I aren't goddammit, that I am not already playing that I have to pick up. I mean, I just picked up Shadow of War, which hopefully is fun.
I would like to play that game.
Even though I've accepted that it's going to be grindy towards the end, which, you know what, that's fine. I want to play Hellblade because I'm hearing you guys talk about it, and
that game is really good.
I want to play Hellblade, and I think the only other one is it just came out or it's about to come out. I want to play that Planet of the Apes game that's on PS. The one that leaked out like 3 weeks ago, and then
you gotta play Night in the Woods. I just started playing that game. That's pretty good. If you play like Oxenfree, it's kind of like Oxenfree. It's like you go to an island and shit starts happening.
Okay, maybe I'll
ghosts and like shit.
Oh, I'm in.
Hellblade.
And then there's not really anything else. I mean, there's like other games, but like there's a lot of games that's like.
Did you play The Lost Legacy?
I did. I beat it. I beat it a couple weeks ago. No, when I say a couple weeks, I mean I beat it like 2 months ago.
To me, I want to play Shadow of War if I can, and I just picked up the other game that I feel like I need to play that everybody's talking about. Nier Automata.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get past the beta.
See, I didn't like that demo, but people keep saying just keep playing it. Keep you gotta just play it.
Maybe it's something.
And it's
I think I have
thing.
enough right now because like I mean I still have a couple games that I feel like I need to beat before the end of the year. But
have you played Origins? Assassin's Creed Origins?
I'm still super early, but I've been playing it.
Or Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I didn't beat Horizon Zero Dawn, but I'm still playing. I'm still playing. I still play everything.
Did you beat Wolfenstein?
No, I'm making my way through Wolfenstein because I was focusing on. I got addicted and went to playing South Park: The Stick of Truth, so I beat that, and then also Mario ate up a lot of my time too. I couldn't.
South Park isn't.
Butthole or whatever.
No, I said Stick of Truth. I contemplated getting the Fractured Butthole today. But maybe I'll get it. Maybe that'll be like a close to the end of the year. I could see me like getting that like at Christmas and being
getting Fractured Butthole.
Yeah.
They should. I saw someone saying that they should have named that game Cracked Butthole. Cracked Butthole. Because it just makes a little bit more sense, you know.
Yeah.
Cracks and assholes.
But a Fractured Butthole.
But at least like it's a little bit less on the nose. Fractured Butthole.
Video games. There's been some good ones this year.
I was talking to someone from work, and they were talking about some town. I guess there's a town in Pennsylvania called Dover.
Yeah.
It's being a smartass. Like, you ever been to Dover? And they're like, yeah, a couple times. Like, been to Dover. It sounds like you're saying bend it over. You ever bend it over? yeah, a couple times. How was it?
Like you know.
It was good.
You're gonna bend it over, like you know when I drop something and.
All right. I think that's good.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
I think we had a fun chat out of one thing.
I like it that started off as one thing and then it just progressed. That was really cool. I like these kinds of.
You ruined a fucking moment, man.
Hopefully everyone had a great Thanksgiving. Spread the words. Hit that 2,000. Worms.
Manny
Alright.
Manny Pacquiao is trying to fight Conor McGregor next year.
I think
so. Conor McGregor is going to get his ass whooped like twice.
Yeah.
But
that's true. But it's like at a certain point though, it's like I would rather like win. I honestly, I just don't want my career to turn into taking ass whoopings for money.
Yeah, that's not gonna end well.
That's how you end up like Ken Shamrock.
Yeah,
toward the end of his MMA career.
He just he
got knocked out by Kimbo Slice. That whole fight was fucking rigged. Allegedly.
You throw a big alleged. Kimbo Slice, I never took him seriously.
He died.
Yeah, he did. I never took him seriously. You know what I mean? Because it's like he started off as a dude who just got in fights on YouTube and then made it to.
He fought people on the street and somehow ended up in the UFC.
And then the first round of his very first fight is the most exciting thing I've ever watched. It's two dudes circling each other for what, 5 minutes?
The one with the God, what's his name? Something 5000.
It might have been. I don't know. That's all I remember of is literally of them circling each other.
It was one of his fights. He was fighting this dude called something 5000. And basically the fight, they both got like fucking exhausted to the point where they were just like falling over and they weren't like doing anything anymore. Like they were just like they were physically fucking exhausted. And
did Kimbo win?
Let me look. I honestly can't remember. I think he did. Yeah, Dada 5000. Originally a TKO win for Slice, overturned after testing positive for nandrolone and elevated.
Well, that makes sense. You seen him?
Yeah, but I mean he's not that impressive. Anderson Silva got busted again.
At this point, his career's like done.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what? He broke his leg and then he ain't done nothing since.
Nah.
And usually, what happens? Like, you just get hurt and then it's like.
He's also like in his 40s now. Kind of weird to think, but like, he's in his fucking 40s. Fedor's coming back.
Fedor, wow.
Yeah, he's going to be fighting next year in Bellator. They have this like. What's the word called? Like bracket kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where I think Fedor is fighting fucking someone.
Oh, I would hope so.
He's fighting someone. I think it was a decent fight. But it's in Bellator. It's going to be part of this bracket.
I was a little confused after what was the most recent UFC that happened. The one with George St. Pierre.
Yeah, Bisping?
Bisping, yeah, like
217.
217. I thought he was done. I thought George St. Pierre was done, or was I just mistaken with that? Like I just thought I hadn't heard from him in a while.
Oh,
like,
he didn't retire, but he like stepped away from the sport like 4 years ago.
I was gonna say because I was like, wow, George St. Pierre's back. I was like, damn, all right.
Yeah, that was a whole big thing leading up to it.
That's what I mean. I was like, wow, all right. I hadn't heard from him in a good long time.
Oh God. Bellator, World.
Yeah, I haven't kept up with UFC too much. Like I used to keep up with it a lot, but like, it's just weird.
Frank Mir? Yeah, Fedor Emelianenko is taking on Frank Mir.
Oh wow, that's damn.
I mean, Frank Mir is kind of a fat piece of crap anymore. Like, no offense to him, like he got his ass kicked by Brock Lesnar. And Brock.
Well, so did
his ass kicked a lot.
Who was it?
Randy Couture?
Yeah, Randy Couture got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
But then again, Brock lost his first fight. Like, that's gotta suck.
Then he came back.
He came back
and he tested positive. He just laid on top of Mark Hunt for like 3 rounds. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he had his dick in. Like, they were just laying the fuck around, and then he tested positive. Everyone's just testing positive.
Everybody it tested positive, but it's okay. Normally him being in WWE, they'd be like, oh, he'd be suspended for 30 days, but he's the fucking cash cow. He gets the buy. But that's another thing I haven't kept up with in a long time. Even though apparently it's getting better. Apparently it's better. Like apparently they actually care about the wrestling now.
I heard Matt Hardy came back.
He did,
which makes me really not want to watch it. He's the most boring fighter I've ever seen.
He reinvented himself in TNA. He went fucking nuts. Like you should just watch videos of him doing promos.
I don't want to. I never liked Matt Hardy. Jeff Hardy was the fun one because he was like addicted to drugs and shit. Matt Hardy was just the boring one.
Matt Hardy had a problem with keeping his girlfriend faithful with Lita. Which is like, real life breaking into that stuff. So it's a weird conversation that they got over.
Yeah, his wife wasn't faithful to him.
It was his wife. It was his girlfriend.
Girlfriend?
Who cheated on him with Edge. IRL.
Oh shit.
And then there's like, you know what? That
Edge.
That's a good angle.
Did he fucking spear her?
Well, he didn't. I mean, he was.
Yeah, he would just like run into people.
He would tackle people. He would tackle people when they caught the spear.
He would just tackle people. He would run at people and fucking tackle. It's probably how his neck got so fucked up.
Yeah,
forced to retire.
He jumped off a ladder once to somebody like 10 years ago.
Oh my god, yeah, he did. Big Show is somehow still alive.
So it's not. Yeah. I think I haven't kept up with it in forever. I mean, like Brock Lesnar's still there, and I lost interest after a while. It's like you just having him, and and it's stupid now. So sometimes.
All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Have fun. Play video games. See ya.